Kendrick Lamar, the undisputed king of hip hop, has decided to pop out yet again in 2024. Not only on Drake and his OVHOES, but with a new album, GNX, with Kendrick perfectly posted next to a clean 1987 Buick GNX on his new album cover, staring directly at all of us and for the ones that are not like us.
That fuck 'em up.
With an album that will stand the test of time past 2024, as in my humble opinion, Kendrick has perfectly set himself up for another historic year in 2025 with the album GNX, in the best way possible. Initial thoughts on GNX. I'm extremely impressed with how Kendrick was able to deliver an album that literally gives you the best of both worlds when it comes to Kendrick Lamar as a rapper, where you have an album mixed with incredible West Coast production that has heavy influence from the LA and Bay areas, especially with a record like Hey Now.
Oh, the black know I just strangled me a goat. Let him go, let him go. Hey now, say now.
Where you instantly get E40 featuring Keep the Sneak, Tell Me When to Go.
King of the super duper you know what I'm saying? No. Tell me when to go.
And not just with this record, but with other records on the album that give you that vibe where you can listen to the song at the gym or the club while still giving you records on the album with a more introspective type of Kendrick with more common dramatic production that focuses on song concepts and themes with deeper thoughts and feelings that provoke the listener that most people expect to hear from Kendrick with albums like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and To Pimp a Butterfly to be more precise. But with the conscious rap and the West Coast production that gives you bobs that you can play at the club, you can go to the gym with, it's all mixed together perfectly for a cohesive rap album where it feels like a West Coast regional album that could be played worldwide. Whacked Out Murals, the intro track off GNX, will go down as one of Kendrick's greatest intro tracks of all time.
That energy will make you niggas move to Europe. The love and hate is definite without a cure.
Featuring popular mariachi singer from Los Angeles, Dea Barrera, with her deep and soulful voice as she starts off the album by saying, Y nos ponemos a llorar, which means I felt your presence here. Last night, we start to cry, like Drizzle Pie. As Kendrick comes in and takes new shots in the record, not just for Drizzle Pie, but for many other rappers who made questionable decisions in response to Kendrick taking over hip hop in 2024. Mentioning Lil Wayne and his frustrations and disappointment with Kendrick being picked over him to headline the Super Bowl in New Orleans, as Kendrick says the following lines,
Used to bump the Carter 3.
I held my Rolly chain proud.
But irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down, whatever though.
But it didn't let Nas down, as Kendrick acknowledged that Nas was the only rapper to congratulate Kendrick for even getting a Super Bowl appearance.
Won a Super Bowl and Nas the only one congratulate me.
And to think that all the hard work that Kendrick put in his career and also the respect and love he's given Wayne over the years, just for Wayne to be let down by Kendrick over a Super Bowl appearance. Kendrick also finally addresses the biggest elephant in the room on the West Coast, and we're not talking politics as usual, but we're talking Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Who?
One of the pioneers of West Coast hip hop, who was probably high as fuck when he initially promoted Tailor Made Freestyle, released by Drizzle Cake, disrespecting Tupac and Snoop Dogg himself, with Drake using AI voices of Pac and Snoop to diss the West Coast, are legends, and Kendrick on the same record.
Cut off. Everybody calling my phone, blowing me up. What the fuck? What happened? What's going on?
With Kendrick saying the following,
Snoop posted Tailor Made.
I prayed it was the edibles.
I couldn't believe it. It was only right for me to let it go.
Alluding to the huge disappointment of Kendrick looking up to his West Coast OG, who passed the throne to him as King of the West Coast back in 2011 on stage, and Kendrick's biggest hater, and one of my favorite rappers, unfortunately, Jayceon Taylor, also known as The Game. Clearly, Kendrick felt a way about Snoop posting this early on in the beginning of the battle, which I did as a fan of Pac and Snoop. Either Snoop promoted it because he got paid for it, or he gave the approval. Either way, real nasty work and not the greatest look for Snoop Dogg as a West Coast legend. I really appreciate Kendrick for following up with a full release of Squabble Up, formerly known as Broccoli, as an intro snippet from the Not Like Us music video.
I feel good, get the fuck out my face. But she don't got no ties.
With still featuring that iconic Debbie Deb 1983 sample, When I Hear Music. The most impressive part of GNX is the fact that Not Like Us and Euphoria are not on the album, as everybody was expecting those two records to be on the album, but I truly believe Kendrick did this so we can fully appreciate the new music off the album, GNX, without two of the biggest hip-hop songs of 2024 being on the album, overshadowing all the great work and new songs that Kendrick is giving us, and properly gives GNX the flowers it deserves on its initial release. Outside of the intro track and Squabble Up, here are more of my initial standout tracks from the first listen of GNX. Reincarnated. I'm loving the sample of Tupac and the Outlaw's iconic song from 1996.
Life in exchange for yours. Born hated as a thug. My life of getting love. Ain't nobody tell me shit.
movie soundtrack Gang Related, also starring Tupac in the movie. And as you can tell, Tupac and Kendrick Lamar are my favorite rappers of all time. So clearly, you know why I love this record. I love the fact that Kendrick delivered a crazy Pac flow, providing a theme of reincarnation and self awareness, which is very similar to Tupac's musical themes and messages in his albums like Me Against the World, my favorite Pac album, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli, The Donk Illuminati, 7 Day Theory. Pac was ahead of his time with these type of albums when it came to storytelling, seeing a vision of life after death. And Kendrick only does this sample in the song more justice as he is providing, where he's reincarnated from the first verse to the second verse as a different person, then ending the track as Kendrick Lamar in present time, talking to the man upstairs about seeking forgiveness and healing. I'm telling you, there is no one else, in my humble opinion, that comes close to Pac like a Kendrick Lamar would. Man at the Garden. Man at the Garden has an incredible message behind the song, as Kendrick is a man of the garden to the gates of heaven in a biblical sense, but he's also the man of his own garden here on earth, as Kendrick clearly states that he deserves it all.
I deserve it all. Like minds and less enemies. GNX with the seat back reclining, bitch. I deserve it all.
The love, the glory, the grace of God, and everything else that comes with being one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. As the song samples the iconic king of New York hip hop, in my humble opinion, Nasir Jones, and his 2001 iconic record, One Mic.
One mic, one beat, one stage, one crib, one God to show me how to do things his son did, pure.
Now, throughout this entire GNX project, Kendrick really delivers with samples, but this one in particular takes you back to 2001 when Nas dropped this record and made the impact that it did to hip hop back then. It was a cultural shift, just like Kendrick is doing with this album, GNX, in songs like this, Man at the Garden, where Kendrick has made the ultimate sacrifices in his life to get to the point that he's at in hip hop, and he won't let anybody take that away from him, including hip hop's favorite pastry, drizzle cake, as he questions Mr. Cakes with the following lines.
Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time, motherfucker. I deserve it all.
TV off. When you get Mustard on the beat, ho, you don't need no ketchup. You just need to catch up to the incredible production that Mustard offers as a producer and has been providing to Kendrick this year with a total of 3 records, including the most popular hip hop song in 2024, Not Like Us, and now 2 new tracks from Mustard on GNX, including the record TV Off. Now, Mustard made magic with Not Like Us, but as soon as I heard TV Off, I started getting on my Carlton, which is not unusual.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas left. Niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-Pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it.
And turned on my TV just to turn it back off. I couldn't get over the initial beat drop. Every 30 seconds, I'm like replaying it. But after I was able to get past the first minute, finally, Kendrick yelling out for records like TV Off and Hey Now are much needed on an album for Kendrick Lamar, where it showcases that he can deliver with West Coast production, where people say he can't make a hit, he can't make a banger in the club. He clearly can do it with records like TV Off, Hey Now. But again, Kendrick Lamar chooses to make the music that inspires him, no matter what. Whether it is Mustard on the Beat Ho, or it's a conscious type of song like Man at the Garden, he's going to give you whatever he wants to give you, but he can do both, best believe. Other notable tracks off the album include A Now, GNX, Gloria, Luther, with a great sample and homage to one of the greatest R&B voices of all time, R.I.P. Mr. Vandross.
If this world were mine,
They drop it like it's hot.
This world concrete flowers grow.
And the official version of the Heart Part 6, not the tragic and irrelevant hip-hop song from Drizzle Cake, as Kendrick reclaims his Heart series with a proper Part 6, reflecting on the come up with TDE to now wanting to grow into his own successful businessman, creating his new label PG Lang, and in a new direction that Kendrick wants to follow for his own career. And don't forget the perfect SWV sample with the Heart Part 6, including the iconic 1994 song from SWV, Use Your Heart. And not your paranoid mind like Drizzle Pie. My final thoughts. I can't really give a final thoughts completely, but I can say one final thought I will have. GNX will go down as one of Kendrick Lamar's most complete, cohesive albums where any casual hip hop fan can enjoy and appreciate. But more importantly, the core fan base of Kendrick Lamar, who has been there with him from the beginning stages, from the C4 era, from the self-titled era, Overly Dedicated, Section 80. This type of project for me as a huge Kendrick Lamar stan, a huge Kendrick Lamar glazer, I don't give a fuck. I think that this album literally is a victory lap, rest in peace Nipsey Hussle, where Kendrick really shows that I'm here. the full circle moment is here. I'm gonna be the king for the rest of the time that I'm here. And when I go, I might live like Pac. You have to accept that, whether you're Drizzle Cake, whether you're Lil Wayne, whether you're 50 Cent, even, because at the end of the day, Kendrick truly is the king of hip hop. The way he rolled this album out at the end of 2024, pulling the ultimate Beyonce, where people thought he was going to be done, go back in the house, he's outside. He's just not near you. But I can't wait to go back to this album and make another video. So let me know what your thoughts are on your initial listen to GNX. Comment below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, go be amazing and have an amazing day.